Hello and welcome to the heliosblog. My name is Helios. Today, we're going to talk about sunk cost fallacy. I'm sure you businessmen reading or listening to this are already familiar with the sunk cost fallacy. I'm speaking for those of you who are not familiar with the term today. I'll also be talking about how the sunk cost fallacy relates to betas, NPC slaves in long-term relationships today. Sorry guys, it's going to be rough. Here we go. Enjoying my content? Check out my blog at heliosblog.com. On YouTube, you can support me by liking and subscribing. I'm also on Spotify if you'd prefer a podcast. If you're interested in my books, The Strategist Guide to Seduction and Quotes to Live By, they're available on Amazon. In addition, you can follow me on Patreon at theheliosblog for exclusive content. On with the show. What is the sunk cost fallacy? Here is the definition. It describes our tendency to follow through on an endeavor if we've already invested time, effort, or money into it, whether or not the current costs outweigh the benefits. Obviously, the sunk cost fallacy can be applied to areas other than business. In Beta's case, the sunk cost fallacy refers to how he stays in a relationship that's doing nothing for him, even if it's stupid to do so, because he's already invested so much time, attention, and energy into it. Who is the loser in the sunk cost fallacy? I'm sure you can already guess who the loser is. The beta. The beta loses because he's provisioning a woman in a relationship that does nothing for him. Often, not only does she not fuck him, she also nags him incessantly. Basically, the benefit of the relationship for him is the privilege of being her butler. Obviously, this is horrendously bad for the beta, but he often doesn't know any better. Beta brainwashing. The reason why most betas don't know better is due to societal brainwashing. Betas are raised from a young age to worship women. They never break out of the mental prison they were put in as a child. Due to all of the propaganda and his naivete, he goes along with society's script, not knowing that his destination is the garbage can once his utility has been drained. The more chores you do, the worse it gets. Betas find themselves in a terrible relationship where there's virtually zero sex and they resort to asking their wives what the problem is. Not only is this terrible because it signals that the guy just doesn't get it, it also means he's in for some terrible advice. Usually, his wife or girlfriend will say something along the lines of, "I'm tired, you don't do enough chores, I want to watch this show," etc. It's a lie that masks the true reason she doesn't want to fuck him. He's a beta who does not fulfill her hypergamous urges. He then listens, another idiotic move, which cements his position as a loser. The woman wins in the sense that her provisioning is improved since the husband has agreed to do more chores, but the man loses as he basically gets nothing other than the privilege of being the woman's butler. The beta man doesn't realize he got the shit end of the stick, and so he stays due to the sunk cost fallacy. Do you see how insidious this is? He falls more and more into the habits that fuck him over more. It's a positive feedback loop with terrible results. Don't just stay so you can add to your month or year count. Many guys stay in shitty relationships so they can brag about how long they've been in a relationship. This is obviously idiotic. If the relationship is going bad and you're getting nothing out of it, don't stay, damn it. Adding months or years to your misery timer does nothing for anyone. Individualistic spirit. As a man, you should think about yourself as the center of your world. You should think about how everything that you're doing and the situations that you're in favor you. If they don't, cut those relationships out. You don't deserve to be a tool for others to use and discard. You're worth more than that. You're better off developing new options than being used by old ones. The truth of the world, and something that the matriarchy does, is provide a plethora of options. You never have to settle for one girl. If a relationship doesn't work out for you at any point, you're totally free to walk away. Any new relationship you enter into has a much greater chance of being good for you than any old one, especially if you are treated badly in the old one. Don't root through the trash when other shiny options are available. Options are power. As I've said in previous posts, options are power. The person who needs the other the least is the one with the most power. Obviously, when you exercise your biological imperative, polygamy, you're going to have many options. This spreads out your sexual needs over multiple women and means that you don't need any of them. Mac Miller said it best: "I don't need nobody, I would love somebody though." As a result, you'll be able to hold on to your power and be much more attractive to all the women you're with. Rather than submitting to a shitty long-term relationship that's prone to a sunk cost fallacy, you're much better off in a non-monogamous arrangement with multiple women. Conclusion. Many betas fall into the trap of the sunk cost fallacy. They believe they should stay in a relationship simply because it's gone on a long time. The truth is that if a relationship is not serving your needs, you shouldn't be in it, regardless of the length of the relationship. Don't stay in a relationship where the only benefit is that of being the woman's butler. Be strong.